Company again on the road, and today in a border battle with longtime foe Kentucky. The Cats, like the Vols, trying to keep a season on the tracks. Welcome to ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by IHG Hotels and Resorts. A couple of 5-2 teams in the SEC playing for the 80th consecutive season. Tennessee and Kentucky both facing a fork in the road today. With that, we say hello and thanks for joining us with Jesse Palmer and Katie George. I'm Mike Monaco, and a big hinge point for both teams tonight. And let's start with the Vols. They jumped out to a big lead on Alabama last week, but the Tide roared back, and again, Tennessee on the road.
They're a team with a bad taste in their mouth, no doubt. Still have a chance at having a special season, but Mike, they've got to be able to handle this environment here. Playing on the road has been the problem. Both losses this year, at Florida, at Alabama. In fact, they've lost 4 of their last 5 conference games on the road, so you got to deal with the crowd noise here at Kroger Field. You have to handle your emotions. It's going to be critical. Tennessee starts fast and tries to seize some momentum early.
In this environment at Kroger Field, Mark Stoops and company started 5-0, coming off back-to-back losses, ready to go here in Lexington. And here come the Wildcats. Well, today we're going to see 2 of the elite rushing attacks in the country. And for Kentucky, Ray Davis has been one of the best backs in the land.
Maybe one of the biggest surprises in college football, too. Not a lot of people talking about him when he entered the portal, left Vandy, and came to Kentucky. But he has been a big play waiting to happen.
When we come back, Vols and Cats on the way. You're watching the SEC on ESPN. Tennessee won the toss and deferred to the second half, so Kentucky at home, out of a bye week, will receive the opening kickoff. Josh Turbeville to put it in the air with Barrion Brown back deep for the Wildcats. Well, Devin Leary is the 6th-year senior quarterback for Kentucky. NC State transfer, and they're hoping for the best from him.
Well, he's had a lot of struggles this year throwing the football, no question about that. And
back-to-back losses, then the bye week for Kentucky. And Devin Leary at the controls. Ray Davis on the ground, and nothing there to start out. On second down, here is Leary on one of those screens, and Barrion Brown probing for some space, and he's wrapped up. It's a loss of 5.
And Amari Thomas, big defensive tackle, showing off his athleticism, 320 pounds. He actually got up and tipped this ball. Barrion Brown was lucky he was able to catch it. You see there, Big O gets the big paws up, and Kentucky still comes up with the reception, but a loss. And now 3rd and long, and this is a situation that Kentucky really wants to be able to avoid throughout the course of this game. Pass protection has not been great, especially in their last 2 games. And we mentioned Tennessee in 3rd down. They can bring pressure, get the edge. They've got a lot of speed.
3 down front for the Vols. Play clock winding down on Leary. They bring 4. Leary rolls and takes off with his legs. And he's wrapped up just short of the line to gain.
D. Williams back there to return for Tennessee, one of the best in the business, 3rd in the nation, averaging 17 yards a return.
Ready to get it from Wilson Berry, the redshirt sophomore from Australia who struggled last time out against Missouri. High kick and a fair catch from Williams at the 30. All right, flip side, Leary, a veteran on one side, Joe Milton on the other at the controls for Tennessee.
Yeah, and Joe Milton has been a bit inconsistent himself this year. Look, there's times he looks like a top 10 pick. 6'5", he's got the best arm in all of college football, and it just jumps off the screen at you, but his downfield accuracy remains a big question mark. Joe Milton has missed a lot of touchdown passes this year, and because of that, the offense really has never been able to get in gear the way it did a year ago. Certainly in this game, they feel like they're going to get their opportunity to take some shots deep down the field. When those shots present themselves, Mike, Joe Milton's got to hit.
Yeah, last year, of course, 46 points per game for Tennessee, the best offense in the country for the Vols. great rushing attack, and they start out with Jalen Wright, one of 3 backs we will see. And fast pace for Tennessee.
Fast pace for Tennessee, not so much for Kentucky. 2 different trains of thought here with respect to how they attack it offensively. In the 3 years Josh Heupel's been at Tennessee, they're averaging almost 3 plays a minute. Kentucky, though, they want to go slow.
Throw to the outside, and that's Dante Thornton, the Oregon transfer. We're going to see more on the outside in this one, 3rd down and short.
Which I think is a good place for him, too. 6'5", 214 pounds with lots of speed. And we talked about them wanting to take shots for Josh Heupel in this offense. He's a guy that I think is going to get his opportunities in this game to use that speed in the framework.
First catch for Dante Thornton in more than a month. And now 3rd down and 2. Milton will run it. And he did this a lot against Alabama. You want to see more of it.
I think they need to do this more. At 6'5" and 240 pounds, man, he is a load, and he can be a big weapon in this offense carrying it. I know he's not Cam Newton, he's not Lamar Jackson, he's not that dynamic, but when you gain an extra blocker by letting Milton run it, the numbers even up. In those short yardage situations where they've struggled, then all of a sudden, good things can happen.
Looks left and throws to the sideline, and that's Squirrel White coming off his biggest game of the season against Bama.
He's got a lot of speed. You're going to see them line Squirrel White up all over the field in the slot. They'll hide him at the H spot, put him outside. If they get a one-on-one chance for a guy that's been clocked at 23.4 miles per hour, they're going to take that chance.
Expect to see a lot of Drew Phillips, 23 in blue, with White today. 2nd down and 3. And Jalen Wright slips a tackle. Jalen Wright is off to the races and gone. 52 yards.
This is just a classic pin pull recipe right here. Down block, Ollie Lane going to come up, and he's going to get Jackson at linebacker. It opens up the crease. And for Jalen Wright, he has the ability to make safeties miss. And when you can do that, you can hit the home run. He has been sensational for Tennessee's offense. And here's the thing, Mike, they've got 2 other good ones too. This rushing attack for Tennessee has been a problem for defenses to stop.
It's been one of the best, as we told you, in the country, much like Kentucky, but it's Jalen Wright who they start with, who gets the balls going on the road in Lexington from 52 yards out, right for 6. Jalen Wright last week against Alabama, 11 carries for 22 yards. Well, rips off a big one, and the Vols with that big play attack that Kentucky saw a lot of in the meeting last season has the lead on the road. Josh Turbeville in the air, and a touchback.
He's gotten so much better at running between the tackles, too, because of that physical style. You're right. He is the complete back now.
Second possession for Kentucky after 3 and out the first time, and it's a completion to Demi Sumo Cardme, running back / wide receiver for 4 yards.
He's a bit of a Swiss Army knife in this offense, and he's a guy that can play running back or play wide receiver, but whenever he's gotten opportunities in games, good things tend to happen. And I think if you're the offensive coordinator, Liam Cohen, you're trying to find more ways to get this guy involved. You're going to see him line up all over the field.
Yeah, we asked Liam Cohen out of the bye week, who is that guy? You got to get more touches, and he didn't hesitate. He said 0. Second down and 6 from the 29, and the second carry for Ray Davis pushes the pile, and he brings up 3rd down and manageable.
Yeah, it's an offensive line, the big blue wall at Kentucky, that is a much better run blocking unit than they are pass protecting unit.
When it was 3rd down and 15 for Devin Leary at Kentucky. Under center, and on 3rd and 1 does not get a push. No gain, and it's 4th down.
Yeah, and I don't love the call. You got Ray Davis behind you, the SEC's leading rusher. Just turn around and hand it off. That time, Tyler Barron at defensive end just caved in on Brendan Bates, the tight end. You're going to see him at the bottom of the screen, number 9. She's able to get that penetration, and there's just too many white jerseys. That's a huge missed opportunity for Kentucky that looks like they're going for it here.
How do you feel about that from the 34?
I think you're trying to get, well, you didn't do it on the first drive, then you watch Tennessee just march down the field and score. I don't know if that's, a message from Mark Stoops not believing in his defense because of the struggles the last couple of weeks. This shows me that you're putting a lot of faith in number one.
Told you they don't do this a lot, and on fourth down, Davis leaning forward and appears to be short.
And it was Barron again. The same guy that made the play on the quarterback sneak. This time he's able to beat the left tackle, Marcus Cox, one-on-one, and make a play.
He didn't get there. Turnover on downs.
Tyler Barron with back-to-back monster stops in short yardage situation. Here he is right here, and you're just going to see at the point of attack just too physical up front. That time he's working against the left guard, Dylan Ray, and just nowhere for Ray Davis to go. And we talked about how Tennessee had to come out in this game on the road where they struggled. They had to start fast. They scored a touchdown in the opening drive for the 6th time this season, and now because the defense gets a massive stop, Joe Milton, this offense cooking here about the 34-yard line.
Barron, one of the many defensive linemen you really like for the Vols. He steps up.
Very athletic and kind of known as a pass rusher with 5 sacks this year, but making 2 huge plays against the run.
Short field, sudden change, midway through the first. And here's running back number 2, Jabari Small out of the backfield. And a good gain on first down.
Yeah, when you're playing in a tempo offense like this, everybody's got to touch it at running back. So it's the law firm of Wright, Small, and Sampson, right? And they kind of divide it 40-30-30, and then the second half start to ride the hot hand a little bit more.
Jalen Wright seated. And it's Small again, left side. And he's got a first down.
There's a big challenge for Kentucky's front 7 here, front 6, to slow the running game down with only 6 guys in the box. When you think about Tennessee's losses, Florida and Alabama, those defenses were able to do it, but you got to leave DBs out to protect the shot plays in the air.
7th best rushing attack in the country in yards per game, and you love the defensive line as well for Kentucky. Derek Jackson in on the stop on another small carry for 2. Brad White, the coordinator of this Kentucky defense, in his 5th year in the role. Second down at 8, and it's Small up the middle. Inside the 20, and red zone efficiency is big for Tennessee as well.
It is, and here's another situation, this down and distance, where Joe Milton's legs can be a factor, whether it's a designed run or if things aren't open and he wants to go take off. He's athletic to get that done. I love the fact that he carried it 15 times last week against Alabama. You're craving that every week you watch them play. This is an area of the field, though, where that could really be a force for this offense.
Third down from the 18. Milton flushed. Rolls out with a couple of flags down, and he will tuck it. He's got a first down, and we will check the 2 markers that appeared to be holding. 119th meeting in this border battle. Peyton Manning in 97. 5 touchdown passes here in Lexington. And now Joe Milton and the Vols staring down 3rd down in the red zone. And Josh Heupel said to us yesterday, the #1 thing that's got to improve, red zone offense. He said it's been a little bit of everything. We've had penalties. We've had inefficiency throwing it down here as well.
Well, the windows are smaller down in this area of the field. That's why generally the best red zone offenses are the ones that run it the best. But this obviously a passing situation. Joe Milton's got to be very good and careful with his decision-making here.
Ollie Lane takes over at left guard for the Vols. 3-man rush, and they flip it to Jalen Wright, and just a yard brings up 4th and long. So it sets up Charles Campbell from 44. The 24-year-old Indiana transfer, 11 for 13 this season, looking for his longest of the year. And Campbell is good, and the lead is 10 for Tennessee.
5 picks, tied for most in the nation. Also leads the defense in tackles, but down 10-0. They could use some turnovers. They could use a big game from Harrison.
2-score deficit for Kentucky with 5:34 to go here in the first.
Yeah, and I think for Kentucky it's important now to come out and establish a little bit of a rhythm and stay on the field. Their defense has already played a lot of snaps at a very, very fast tempo. They've got to keep Joe Milton and those weapons on the sideline and generate a few first drives here and get some momentum of their own going, get the crowd back in this thing.
This Kentucky team coming off a loss against Missouri 38-21, where, like Tennessee last week, up early in that game, up 14-zip in the first, but Missouri's fake punt really changed the course of that game. Play action for Devin Leary. Plants, fires downfield, and he's got his man. And now a flag on the far side of the field. They had a false start. Mark Stoops said to us, we've been frustrated, we've been undisciplined, and it's been a big problem.
Got another false start.
False start. Offense number 6.
And it backs up the Cats into first down at 20. And a quick throw, and it's Denny Sumo Karnbe with his second touch on first down.
Nice tackle by Aaron Beasley. He's been all over the place for this Tennessee defense. He's a guy who's very slippery, hard to block, but really good at making open field tackles and getting guys to the ground.
Fifth-year senior, third-year starter for the Vols defensively. It's the Tennessee defense, top 20 in the country in total defense, third best in the SEC. Barryon Brown in motion. Four-man rush, and Leary steps up. Stumbles forward, and he's out past the 50, ushered out by Beasley.
On third down, you got to focus on number 27 for Tennessee. James Pierce has been a monster this year with 7 sacks. Here he is lined up on the right tackle.
On Jeremy Flax. On third down, Leary is complete inside the 40, and it's Dingle again to move the sticks. Davis trying to cut it back, and there is nothing there. Beasley in on another tackle.
And concepts that Leary's comfortable with.
Second down, there's a flag down, and Leary throws to the sideline, complete to Tavion Robinson. Check the marker.
Offside. Defense number 19. Line of 4 inches on with the snap. A 5-yard penalty. Replay second down.
At 5 for 5 you saw overall. Coming up on the final minute of the first. Pressure, quick release, and a catch for Tavion Robinson. Leary under pressure to the end zone, and too tall. Wanted Dane Key.
That time Leary took a big hit. James Pierce got in the backfield, but I think for Leary right now, if you're Liam Cohen, because you're seeing how well he's progressing through everything, you keep dialing up these pass calls. Look at that. You get one on the side. You got Norman Lott, big D tackle, hitting you right in the chest. Not a lot of fun. This Tennessee defense, their pass rush is legit. They're averaging 4 sacks a game. They've got guys that can win up front one-on-one. We talk about the pressures that D coordinator Tim Banks likes to dial up.
Those 4 sacks a game, 4th most in the country. On second down, it is Davis. And he's been bottled up so far, slipped the tackle, and fights for maybe a couple of yards.
Yeah, I think right now, Tennessee up front, especially in the inside of that defensive line, those D tackles are winning. They're eating double teams. They're getting some pushback in the backfield. Nowhere for Ray Davis to go between attackers. And they're going to have to force him to try to throw it here if they're going to try to get a touchdown in the red zone.
Ray Davis, you saw, was shaking his head at the end of the first quarter in Lexington. Jalen Wright got it started for Tennessee, and after 15 minutes here at Kroger Field, ball's up 10-zip with Kentucky driving. Well, Kentucky off the mat after the penalties earlier on this drive, facing a big third down in the red zone.
Yeah, it's important, I feel like, in this one, too, to come away with 7 points based on what we've seen from Tennessee the first 2 drives and trying to keep this thing close. Obviously, you don't want this to turn into a track meet, but this is a big opportunity for this offense.
8 plays, 65 yards so far, and now third down and 9. And Leary to the sideline, incomplete. Intended for Dingle, and it brings up 4th down. And now a 28-yard try for the Georgia Southern transfer, Alex Rayner. Hasn't attempted a field goal since September 30th, but he is good, and Kentucky is on the board.
One of the great Halloween cities in the world.
Chance Ford gets it away. And no chance for D. Williams. We check in for the first time with Matt Berry. All right, Matt, thanks very much.
You have a favorite costume from your past?
Mario, I would say.
Mugatu for me.
Really?
Zoolander, yeah.
Just dying for me to ask you that.
It was a winner.
Tennessee with it up by 7 early on in the second, and Joe Milton uncorks that cannon of an arm downfield and incomplete. He wanted Ramel Keaton.
And there's Maxwell Hairston. We've talked about how important and valuable he's been to this defense, and that time one-on-one with one of Tennessee's best deep threats outside. He turns around. They're definitely locked up, but turning around and trying to locate the football is an indicator a lot of referees look for to not throw pass interference. I like the call.
On second down, here is Wright. So elusive. And he's got a first down before he's upended by Hairston.
This is what a lot of people that don't watch Tennessee don't know. This is not an air raid offense. They run the football 55% of the time, and they spread you out. They go up tempo. They're running against 6 in the box, and they break off explosive runs.
Here is Wright again with a big lane up the middle. Into plus territory as they keep it on the ground with Jalen Wright.
And they roll in new, fresh guys all the time, whether it's Wright, whether it's Small, whether it's Sampson, and they're putting up 217 rushing yards a game, tops in the SEC because of how physical this O-line is and how talented their backs are.
From the 46, Wright is met by Trevin Wallace, who missed the Missouri game with a reported shoulder injury, comes back.
Yeah, and he's a big get back for this defense as well. Because of his speed and his ability to go sideline to sideline, he's also a guy they love to blitz in obvious passing situations. Missing him against Missouri really hurt this defense, and they need him to play well in this game.
Pairs really well with De'Eric Jackson, senior linebacker for the Wildcats. About as slow as you will see Tennessee go offensively.
Well, they had to give Kentucky an opportunity to substitute there. Tennessee had a substitution change, and Kentucky took their time, basically walking off the field.
And now a flag, and looks to be on Tennessee.
A chance to catch their breath.
Second down and 10, and Dylan Sampson, running back number 3, and he's electric as well. Takes it to the 40.
He is. He had 4 touchdowns in their first game against Virginia and 139 rushing yards against UTSA. And this coaching staff just couldn't ignore him anymore. They had to get this guy some more touches, and he's dynamic. On third down, he's also a weapon catching it.
Stays in with Wright on the sideline, and here he is on the ground. And Sampson's got a first down.
Really good, tough running, and a bread and butter play is pulling their tackle. Gerald Mincy that time, the Florida transfer at right tackle, does a great job wheeling around, pinning a D lineman for Kentucky, opening up a crease.
Give it to Sampson again, and he is swarmed in the backfield by De'Eric Jackson for no gain.
Yeah, and De'Eric Jackson, I think, has played really, really well. He just does a nice job. 54, just kind of get through the mess and find a way to tackle Sampson in the backfield.
On second down, there's pressure on Milton. Got it away to the sideline and too tall, intended for White. And a flag flies pre-snap. Backed up to the 36, and it's a screen. It's Squirrel White, and he gets hawked down by Keaton Wade. Charles Campbell comes out from 49. And Campbell's kick on its way, hooking and good. Campbell's longest of the season restores the Tennessee lead to 10 in the second quarter. A team that you guys saw, Jesse and Katie, last week.
Yeah, went into Jordan-Hare, a place that was really tons of energy. They knew it was going to be tough, and Jackson Dart delivered big time. Late in that game, some big moments. Come away with a big win.
Barryon Brown waiting for a chance, won't get it here. Alongside Jesse and Katie, Mike Monaco, our entire crew with you. Kentucky with it down by 10, and Leary up the sideline, and he's got Barryon Brown and a contested catch.
And that's big because Tennessee's without their best corner in this game for the rest of the season. Kamal Hatton out with an injury. So
32 yards and now some up-tempo from the Wildcats, and Leary to Dane Key, and Leary looks like he's in a pretty good rhythm. Over the top of Danico Slaughter, as you said, stepping in for Kamal Hatton. Kentucky had 4 drops in the Missouri game. Liam Cohen said there's going to be a contested catch type of game. On a pitch to Jaton McClain, and not much there.
Well,
tackle made by Herring.
Yeah, Mike, it seems obvious coming into this one that Tennessee said, okay, no Ray Davis. We're going to load the line of scrimmage, load the box. Number 1 is not going to beat us. So that's setting up one-on-one opportunities on the outside, and Kentucky's got to be able to hit those. And those chances have shown up early in this game. Devin Leary's finding the matchups. He's delivering accurate throws.
Dekel Crowdis comes in as well. Top of your screen for Kentucky. Play clock winding down on Leary, and they got it away. Against the blitz, Leary incomplete, wanted Robinson.
You mentioned the blitz. When you're playing against this Tim Banks defense, you're becoming an active participant in a blitzathon. He brings people from everywhere. The question is, where are they coming from? Is it going to be a linebacker? Is it a safety? Is it a nickelback, a corner? They're not all out blitzes or pressures, but they're just enough to try and confuse you, and that's a big reason why, as you mentioned earlier, Mike, they're 4th best in the nation in terms of sacks per game.
Something Tim Banks said to us last night, we identified as an area we had to improve on. Sets up another 3rd down for Devin Leary at Kentucky. Still McClain and no Ray Davis. 4-man rush, and Leary zips one to the sideline for Key and a 1st down, and they move the sticks on 3rd down. 17 yards for the Wildcats. From the 15, on a direct snap, Davis keeps, and he finds about 3.5 yards. Against 4, Leary toward the end zone for Brown! And a touchdown! Chance Poor puts it in the air. And no chance again for Williams. And a couple of big catches, including the touchdown from Barryon Brown. Falls by 3, and Milton keeps. Plenty of room up the left side for Joe Milton, just shy of the 45.
You know, guys, some quarterbacks like to get a couple quick completions early in the game to settle in. Joey Halsley says Joe Milton likes running the ball to get himself going. Now that he's feeling healthier, a couple early runs, even taking a couple hits, contact helps him find his rhythm and groove. Jesse, is that common?
Probably not. I know I needed to get hit a few times before I started to feel more comfortable, but of course I wasn't close to the athlete that Joe Milton was.
2nd down and 4, and it's Small with back-to-back carries. He's got a 1st down.
I think I would prefer to do it the Joe Milton way.
Yeah.
Probably run like a zone read for 20 yards to feel like I got into the rhythm before getting blindsided, sack, fumble, score. Yeah, I'll take the Joe Milton route.
6'5", 235. The 1st down. On the ground again with Small.
Man, I'm impressed with Tennessee up front, too, because Kentucky is a big, physical, dominant defensive line. They want to fight you in a phone booth. They're inviting you to run it between the tackles. They've only given up 95 rushing yards a game, 2nd best in the SEC, but Tennessee is pushing them around.
And now Milton off the play fake. Takes another deep shot toward the end zone for a touchdown. Chaz Nimrod. 39 yards for his 1st career touchdown.
Nimrod one-on-one against Jordan Robinson out in corner, and Jordan Robinson just falls down. He gets beat right off the line of scrimmage. You can't catch up. You see him trip and fall. And that's just an easy pitch and catch. And it's been the explosive plays in the passing game that have been lacking from Tennessee's offense. Doesn't seem at all like it was a year ago when they had Hendon Hooker and Jalen Hyatt just lighting defenses up, but early in this game, getting it done running, and now throwing it deep as well.
Charles Campbell with the point after. 20-10 is the lead for the Vols. This is an explosive through the air for the Vols, and Chaz Nimrod, his 1st career touchdown. Both Tennessee touchdowns have been big plays. The first on the ground and now through the air.
See, last year when teams loaded the box to stop the run, they made you pay for it with 37 completions of 20 or more yards. This year, that hasn't been the case. Part of that's Milton missing, part of that's Brew McCoy being hurt, and part of that's receivers dropping passes. But early in this one, they are clicking on all cylinders.
Drive took a $122, and now a Turbeville touchback.
I think that's been part of his problem throughout his career, is just trying to get the distance right.
I mean, that was a parabola through the air as Ray Davis fights for a couple of yards. Big drive here now for Kentucky.
Yeah, and again, they'd love to get Ray Davis going, but you got to give this Tennessee front four a lot of credit. They've been more physical inside the tackles, and they're forcing Devin Leary right now to have to beat them throwing it.
Tennessee will have it to start the third quarter, up by 10.
You see them huddling. They kind of want to slow this thing way down. They would love to be able to drive the field here, bleed the clock, score some points, not give Joe Milton a lot of time left to work with, because, of course, Tennessee is going to be receiving first in the second half.
Here's Leary on second down. Throw sideline for Anthony Brown-Stevens, who makes the catch for a first down for the freshman.
A bullet by Devin Leary.
For 20 yards. Now again, and that one a bullet out of the arms of Tavion Robinson.
And again, I'm just really impressed with Devin Leary here and just how well he's seeing all the different looks Tennessee's showing him defensively. He's seeing the pressures, he's seeing the coverages, he knows where his answers are. Just looks so much more confident coming out of this bye week, Mike.
His coordinator, Liam Cohen, said to us when he's slowed and everything is calm, he processes really well. Has done that here in the first half tonight. Sumo Karngbe squirts forward just a couple of yards, and now third down coming up.
Yeah, it's big Amari Thomas again making a stuff. And you know, you look at this lineup for Tennessee inside at tackle. I think they've got 5 guys that'll play on Sunday. When you look at Eason, Thomas, Simmons, Garland, Norman Lott, all of these dudes, they make it very hard to run in between the tackles, which sets up third and long. And then that guy, number 27, James Pierce, he's screaming off the edge. Here he is lined up to the right side, one-on-one against the big right tackle, Jeremy Flax.
He's top 10 in the country in sacks. Sophomore off the edge. He drops back on third down. And Leary zips one to the sideline for Key and a first down.
Well, a lot of people thought he might have been the best QB addition from the portal this offseason.
Davis on the ground, fights for a few yards. I mean, in that season, he was one of 5 finalists for the Johnny Unitas Award as the best quarterback in the country.
That's why I think a lot of people would say, you know, through 7 games early this year, Kentucky maybe didn't get the return on investment they thought they were going to get. It's taken them some time, but I think there's a better example of that for an individual player than at QB.
Play fake and a rollout and a quick one to Josh Caddis, one of the tight ends. And he rumbles down toward the 20. There is a flag down back at the 27. 17 yards for Caddis, and Kentucky driving. 3:15 to go until halftime. Could be a double pass. Tavion Robinson instead takes off up the sideline toward the 15.
I love that decision by Robinson. How many times do you see receivers get a double pass opportunity and they just want a touchdown pass so bad they force it into double coverage? It ends up getting picked off. But you see right here, they're trying to squeeze and get the tight end in behind it. Not there. Very smart play. There's a guy that started 50 games in his career. That's why Liam Cohen further down the road will let him run that play again, because you're not going to put him on the chopping block. You make good decisions. You've got your coordinators back. Really, really smart job. Smart play.
5th-year senior started his career at Virginia Tech. 9th play of the drive on second down. Davis breaks the tackle, and he's got a first down inside the 10, and it's 1st and goal. 8 yards, his longest carry of the game.
And look at them just bleeding the clock again. They're huddling. They're letting this thing roll. This is working out perfect for Kentucky late here in the first half.
Davis into motion. They give it to him on the jet sweep. Davis to the edge. Touchdown. Border rivalry between Tennessee and Kentucky getting late in this first half. How about the second quarter? We've had 27 points, 279 combined total yards.
It feels like whoever has the ball last could end up winning this game, right? It's been fun.
Fair catch signal from D. Williams. What's coming up, Matt Barry?
Back in studio with his high chair behind that table, looking good.
He had to take a shot at Florida as well.
Everything was going so well.
First down, and there's nothing there for Dylan Sampson. 5th drive for Tennessee. They've got points on the first.
Well, here's the problem. 1:30 is an eternity for this Tennessee offense to drive the field and score. Plus, they have all their timeouts. It's plenty of time for Joe Milton to get this thing working.
Second down, and it's Sampson again. Up the middle, takes it out to the 29, 4 yards, 3rd down.
Well, you see this offense run it a lot in their 2-minute drill, but Tennessee right now going a lot slower than I anticipate. I think there'd be a little bit more sense of urgency right now for Tennessee to try to steal some more points before getting it back first in the second half.
3rd down and 6. Yeah, they soak some time here on the road.
It feels like they're just playing to have the lead into halftime.
3-man rush. Milton searching and rolling and firing toward the sideline and trying to hook up over there and waiting on the signal for Ramel Keaton, and it looks like he's got it.
And that is an absolute laser on the throw. Was he in when he made the catch? I don't think so. They're going to want to take a look at that, aren't they?
See if that right foot was down. They do not stop it, and now we do get a whistle mid-run from Sampson, and they do want to go back and have a look.
Okay, well, first off, that's the type of throw. Mark Stoops upset. He wants a faster review because he thought it was incomplete as well. But that's the type of throw from Joe Milton.
Replay review was initiated. The ruling on the field is a completed catch. This plays under further review.
And that's a big play, too. Here's Tennessee. They're going slow. They're on their own end. It looks like they're playing just to get into halftime with the lead. One big throw, all of a sudden, if this stands, sets them up at midfield. With all their timeouts, they're in position to score.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. It's a completed catch. A first down for Tennessee. This to set the game clock to 32 seconds. 32.
Saw the replay official John Bible working in tandem with Steve Marlowe.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of what we were talking about there. Kentucky fans can't believe it, but you know, again, the call in the field, and you need the evidence on video replay to overturn it. I just don't think they had it.
Kentucky doesn't like it, and again, they came together for a while before they even signaled that it was a catch in the initial call from Ramel Keaton. Picks up 17 on 3rd down and 6, and as you said, out to midfield now with Tennessee operating with 32 seconds and all 3 timeouts.
You probably feel like at least to get into field goal range, you probably got to get this thing somewhere close to the 30-yard line. So you got about 22 yards to go. Plenty of time with all those timeouts in their back pocket.
Even Scooby-Doo upset here in Lexington. First down, and Milton throws it toward the sticks, and Keaton gets out of bounds after he got about 7.
Really good awareness there that time by Ramel Keaton, understanding the situation. 2-minute drill here, finding the sideline if you can get out to stop the clock.
Ramel Keaton, the 2nd leading receiver, 5th-year senior from Georgia.
We got a substitution problem that time. Keyshawn Silver was jogging off the field. The coach had to run out to him and say, no, you're not going out, get back out there.
Nose guard does, and now Milton on 2nd down across the middle. Spinning is Sampson and stayed on his feet before he's gang tackled by Kentucky. Well, this has been quite the first half.
Yeah, and it's going back and forth. And we knew Tennessee coming into this game was going to be a team that wanted to run the football. Jalen Wright's been sensational in the first half. They've run it for over 250 yards. I think the bigger surprise is it hasn't been Ray Davis so much for Kentucky as it's been Devin Leary. He's been so good throwing it right now. They're finding explosive plays. He's taking care of the football. And this thing is back and forth. And again, it just has the feel right now in the first half like whoever has the ball last is going to win this game.
They have played a lot of close ones in the history of this rivalry, and the first half here tonight at Kroger Field's been no different. All right, so they put 17 seconds on the clock. Tennessee's got it at the 41, 2 timeouts left. Milton steps up, searching and throwing, and he's got his man. Squirrel White is wrapped up by Phillips on a good gain with 7 seconds. And now they stop it.
Fantastic job on the scramble drill that time. Milton rolling to his right. You got receivers that have to fight and work their way back open and find green grass. And just an outstanding throw again on the move by Joe Milton. You see that? I mean, it looks like Superman making these throws. Some pressure coming on the outside. Sampson gets a piece of him. It allows him to buy time. You start with a curl route. You break it back to the inside. So much quickness by Squirrel White on the outside here. This is going to be a curl on the boundary. Try to get out of bounds, but you just find open grass. You work away from where you came from. And oftentimes for QBs, throwing back across your body on the move to your right if you're right-handed is the cardinal sin. But man, when you got this guy's arm talent, it is scary. And that's another top 10 pick type play by Joe Milton.
I mean, threw one rolling that way to Keaton, and now rolling the same way, but as you said, across the body.
And I feel like 20 seconds ago they were on their own 25-yard line, and all of a sudden here they are with an opportunity to steal some more points before getting the football back first here in the second half.
Clock rolled when it shouldn't have, so with 7 seconds left in this half, they trot out Charles Campbell. From 34 yards for Charles Campbell. Jackson Ross the holder. And Campbell is up. And good. So it felt like they were backed up on their 25, and then on third down, Milton with a call that stood to Keaton, and that set it all in motion.
Man, we talked about needing to be better throwing it vertically down the field. Joe Milton has shown that. He's shown you a little bit of everything in this game, too. We've seen some running ability of him, but right here on this 2-minute situation, the scramble throw to Squirrel right there at the end. We've seen the zone read. It's a great job. You see his athleticism for a guy that's 6'5", 240 pounds, and then he's found his matchups one-on-one. Here's the 6-iron throw down the boundary to a wide-open target, Chaz Nimrod, and little magic dust. Putting on a show. Both these quarterbacks have been dialed in, and that was very impressive in a 2-minute drill, where at the beginning, again, it looked like it was very lackadaisical. But he's been doing it running it. He's been doing it throwing it.
Both quarterbacks who have had uneven or up and down in some cases seasons to this point.
Yeah, it's fun to see a quarterback duel here. But the midway, point of the season, getting into the last third, and both these guys, man, they came ready to play, dialed in to the game plan, and you got to love what you're seeing if you're the head coach on both teams from your quarterback.
With 5 seconds remaining, Turbeville will have this one come out from Barryon Brown. Up the middle of the field, and no time remaining here at the end of the half. And Brown is slow to get up. So that does it for the first half. Tennessee 23, Kentucky 17. Took some time for the Cats offense to get in gear. And meanwhile, for the Vols, they came out with the big plays. And they have the 6-point lead on Devin Leary and Kentucky after 30 minutes. Down to Katie.
Coach Heupel, you scored points on all 5 of your first half drives. How would you assess your offense's play so far?
Like a lot of what we've done, we got to finish when we get in the red zone. Defensively, love the way we started. We got to get back. They've hurt us with some play action pass. We got to have our eyes in the right place and then go play the man coverage.
Thank you.
Thank you.
23-17 is Josh Heupel's lead on Kentucky. Let's get you to the studio for our halftime report with Joey Galloway and Dan Mullen. Here's Matt Perry. Welcome back to ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by IHG Hotels and Resorts. Tennessee's got the lead on the road against Devin Leary and Kentucky as we start the second half. Welcome you back to Kroger Field. Jesse Palmer, Mike Monaco with you, and you said it in the first half. Haymakers on both sides, exchanging blows.
Yeah, which defense can get a stop? It's kind of what it feels like right now. Tennessee's hitting on all cylinders, right? They're running it at about 9 yards a clip. Joe Milton's dialed in. It's been all Devin Leary, though, for Kentucky. They've been outstanding throwing it. They need more Ray Davis. They need more balance here in the second half. But which of these defenses can get a turnover? Which one can force a punt? That may go a long way in determining who wins this game.
Such a key spot in the season for both these teams. You see at 5-2, both coming off losses and a fork in the road tonight. Chance Poor's kickoff is a fair catch.
Missouri scored on 7 of their last 9 drives the last time out. And you mentioned it right when we were going to halftime, Katie. Tennessee scored on all 5 drives in this one, too. So Tennessee needs a stop for their confidence and for their momentum.
Jalen Wright for 6. How do you think Kentucky defensively has handled the tempo?
Not great. And, you know, that's a problem right now. Playing with better eye discipline and focus, getting the call in, getting the substitutions in, that's always a problem. It's not so much the physical. It's the mental. It's getting everybody lined up properly, getting everybody's eyes in the right place.
It's exactly what Brad White, the defensive coordinator, said to us. 3rd down and short, and it's Milton, and De'Aaron Jackson got to him for no gain. 4th down.
That's a phenomenal job. They go with the QB run there on 3rd and short, and it was De'Aaron Jackson able to kind of weave around the right side of the offensive line.
Jackson Ross, redshirt freshman from Australia, who can boot it with both feet. Coming off a really good one against Alabama. And he gets this away in the direction of Tavion Robinson, who makes a fair catch at the 30. Had been 54% for the season. You saw better than 70%. It's Davis on the ground for a good gain on 1st down.
Yeah, and they got to get him going as well. This guy leads the SEC in rushing yards, and he's the type of guy that can get stronger as the game goes on. And we talked about the big blue wall from Kentucky up front. They like to try to wear defensive lines down. What Ray Davis has done this season, nothing short of phenomenal. And both these guys have just been ballers for their respective offenses. Jalen Wright, he's only done 99 yards on 7 carries. They've gotten him off. It's now time for Ray Davis to get going.
Davis, a guy, of course, who went for 280 on the ground in that win over Florida at the end of September. 2nd down and 4, and Leary, quick throw. Dane Key lowers the shoulder out to midfield and barks at Gabe Judy-Lally. Back in a blink to Lexington, Kentucky. 1st down and 10 from midfield for Devin Leary. Against pressure across the middle, Tavion Robinson. 2nd down and 1. And Ray Davis takes on Jalen McCullough, and he's got a 1st down.
You know, it's crazy. I tell you, Tennessee came into this one wanting to stop the run, make Devin Leary beat them. They're playing to their game plan perfect, except they can't affect Devin Leary. And remember, they were averaging 4 sacks a game. They have not been able to get home. They have 0 in this game, whether they're rushing 3, 4, or blitzing. The pass rush that's been so good for Tennessee all year, that's got to show up here at some point in the second half, I think, if Tennessee's going to win.
The big blue wall, that offensive line as it's known for the Wildcats, who you said coming in, if you're just joining us, better blocking the run than pass protection. Eli Cox, the anchor in the middle. First down, here's Leary. Feels the pressure, and right on cue, he is sacked by Omar Norman Lott, and the first for the Vols getting home.
Well, Barron's going to be the one at defensive end that forces Leary to step up, and then it's Norman Lott that finishes it. He's twitchy from Arizona State inside for a big man. You see Barron come out here, gets the contain. Leary's got to step up, and there's the pass rush we've seen time and time again from Tennessee this year. It's important Kentucky does not get behind the sticks. This is an offense that has struggled for most of the season throwing it, but you do not want to let this Tennessee Volunteer front pin their ears back in obvious situations because they've got dudes.
First one for either team in this game and a loss of 11. And on 2nd and long for Leary. Pressure again, he climbs, checks it down, and Davis dropped a juggling bid, and now it's 3rd down and a mile.
Well, 2 straight plays, and if you're Liam Cohen in this situation right here, you've got to have a plan for James Pierce. They've done a good job so far, but Pierce is going to be coming off the right side or the left side. He's one of the best pass rushers in the entire country. They're going to have him lined up against Jeremy Flax, the right tackle. You need a tight end or a running back chipping to help a guy in Pierce who's got sacks now in 3 straight games.
So they've got Jordan Dingle at tight end beside Flax to help out on Pierce. Kentucky's 3 of its last 4 on 3rd downs. 4-man rush, and Leary rifles one, and he's got Dingle, who gets crunched down in plus territory, brings up 4th down. On 4th down, here's the blitz. Leary stands in toward the sideline and broke it up. by Tamarian McDonald to force a turnover on downs.
What a play by McDonald. And remember, he was beat on a wheel route for the touchdown to Berrien Brown. This time they had Carnbay in the slot running the same route, and McDonald did a much better job this time in coverage. That's a mano-a-mano wheel route. He does a great job fighting through the traffic, going up over top, then locating the ball, swatting it away clean. It's been the biggest area of improvement, I think, for this defense too, Mike, this year. Last year, they were the 4th worst pass defense in all of college football. They've had a more consistent pass rush this season, but they've had better play outside one-on-one on islands. And in a game where they lose Kamal Haddon, their last time out, big play by McDonald.
Milton runs it on first down, finds a lane, and he's got a first down. After the second turnover on downs from Kentucky, we've got a marker back at the 34. On the ground with Wright, and he tumbles forward, and now it's second down and 19 for the Vols. Ball shape-shifting up front with that 5-man group. Milton under some pressure from Walker, directing, firing, and he's got a man. Dante Thornton into plus territory. And there's the Dante Thornton Vol Nation has been waiting on.
We saw great examples on the 2-minute drive at the end of the first half on the scramble drill and guys working to get open. This time, right-handed quarterback going to the left, and he's got a receiver working back across his body. Natural arm talent. It's like a shortstop turning 2.
47 yards, and now Wright picks up 9.
And when this tempo gets going, when they get a big chunk play, they like to go really fast. And the defense all of a sudden is on their heels. They're trying to get a call. Are we subbing? Are we not? Backs against the wall.
Right again with a first down and a burst. Swung down just outside the 10 by Drew Phillips.
Yeah, right now, Jeremiah Crawford, you were just talking about at left tackle. He's doing a nice job here in the run game. He's one-on-one outside with J.J. Weaver, and he's winning. And that's giving creases for Jalen Wright to run through on that left side.
Wright's got 10 for a $117. Option. Milton. Pitch. Right. Edge. And banged out of bounds after a couple by Zion Childress, the safety.
Josh Heupel told us he wants better production in the red zone, right? And again, the best offenses are the ones that run it down in this area of the field. It can be conventional turning around and handing it off. It can be QB runs, option game. You're seeing a little bit of everything right now for Tennessee down here.
You think the best red zone offenses can run it well?
Yeah, because it's hard to throw in this area, right? The windows are really small. They open and close so quickly. And for a passing offense like Tennessee that has struggled this season, it's critical here. They keep getting it done on the ground.
Milton tried to get free, and he cannot, out of the grasp of Keaton Wade.
Here's where now in a situation Kentucky's pass rush has to go.
Third down. Milton ducks away from pressure, and he's dropped. Leads them in pressures, and he got home. And now Charles Campbell from 35 yards trying to make this a 2-score game. And Campbell off the upright, and good.
Wow. Woo! Trick or treat.
Oh.
Man, lucky bounce for Tennessee.
The rare field goal replay, because yeah, Charles Campbell off the right upright and in.
Got the members bounce.
Oh. Take that anytime on the road in Lexington, Kentucky.
That's what
These border rivals separated by 170 miles, and how about the last 3 in Lexington, all close ones. In 17, it was Kentucky by 3, Tennessee by 4 a couple of years later, and then 2 years ago in a game that feels a lot like tonight's, Hendon Hooker started a win.
Yeah, these things always end kind of crazy when they play here in Lexington. This one also feels like it's going to be going down to the wire.
Josh Turbeville with a touchback, and now a quick word from Verbo. Midway through this third in Lexington, Jesse Palmer, Katie George, Mike Monaco. This game produced by Scott Matthews and directed by Jeff Evers. Play fake, and Leary to the field, and a catch. 50. Davis tried to bounce it outside. He gets 3.
Just nothing on the inside, right? We're used to seeing him find creases and get into the second level. Hasn't been able to do that. Tennessee very stout.
6 to go, third quarter. And now another flag gets dropped in right by the line of scrimmage.
Led game, defense number 44, using disconcerting signals. It's a 5-yard penalty, results in a first down.
Second week in a row they've called that on Elijah Herring.
Yeah, he's trying to clap and simulate a snap count from the offense. That's what the referees say they're doing. And I think Elijah Herring's saying, look, I'm just trying to communicate to my front, tell guys to shift. That's been a problem here in recent games.
I mean, they were talking about Elijah Herring needing to clap more gently after the call last time out against Alabama.
How do you do it? What, golf clap?
Yeah, I guess so. Davis left side, and he squirts past the 50.
Jazz hands. Whatever it takes. Man, it's like life's already hard enough on the defense, isn't it? With spread up tempo offense and everything that's going on, RPOs now. And now you can't clap.
Heat of the moment, you're in a rivalry matchup. And Herring gets tagged for that. Second down and 5. From the 48, play action again, and Leary in rhythm. Another completion, and Dane Key breaks away. At the 15, he's out of bounds. Inside the red zone with 4 to go in the third. Leary rolls out. And now takes off. And Devin Leary slides down in the vicinity of the 5 using his leg. Couple of tight ends in this 12 personnel for the Wildcats from the 6. Davis off the right side, and again, nothing there for Ray Davis, the top rusher in the SEC.
You saw Bryson Easton, who went down with an apparent injury a few plays ago. He made a big-time play that time, just stymieing offensive linemen at the point of attack. And you can see why this defense is averaging 8 tackles for loss. There he is working against the right guard, just nothing going. And they've got 5 guys like that that can come in, fresh legs. They've been living in the opponent's backfield all season long.
You said it, you think those 5 have NFL futures.
I do. They've recruited so well at that position and gotten some help from the portal as well.
Third down and 3. Leary, easy access. He's got his man for a touchdown. And it's Dane Key. Tennessee will get it up by 2 late third.
And Texas, the big win against Alabama, and winning today with a backup quarterback in Malik Murphy, I thought was impressive.
You had Oklahoma in that 6th spot.
I did, yeah. And it's weeks like this, it just seems like ho-hum. That's when chaos always seems to start to unravel.
Go to ESPN.com/All-State Playoff Predictor to check out your team's chances to make the college football playoff. It's Keaton on first down.
Yeah, you see how Joe Milton just spits that out so quickly. Kentucky now trying to stop this running game. They got more bodies close to the line of scrimmage, which opens up one-on-ones outside. If you don't make a tackle, it's a home run.
Jabari Small pushes the pile, brings up third down about 1.
It's going to be so critical for Kentucky here now. The rest of this game, they've got to slow the running game down with just 6 guys in the box. They've been so good, so physical all year, stopping it with those big bodies up front. That's got to continue here. We've seen Tennessee go to QB run here in these situations.
And Milton is under center, hands it off to Small, and he's dragged down. Short of the line to gain, it brings up 4th down.
Offside. Defense number 97. In the neutral zone, causing the offensive player to react. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
They were saying it was 97. I thought it was Octavius Oxendine, number 8, who flinched a little bit right up the middle. But a great job that time. We've seen some false start issues for Tennessee. Nice job by them that time, holding their water, getting the automatic first.
And then the Spider-Man gif on both sides of the line of scrimmage. Milton lowers his shoulder for about a yard or 2. Deion Walker, the tackle.
Yeah, and Oxendine that time getting into the backfield too. This defensive line now starting to play a little bit better. You can see them playing with a lot more confidence here, coming alive.
On second down, Small stacked up again as this defense under Brad White in the second half has searched for answers.
Yeah, we talked about what their confidence would be. For 5 of the last 6 years, it's been a top 25 defense here, and all of a sudden now, down 2, trying to get each other fired up, and you can hear the crowd now getting into it as well.
Third down and 5. Pressure, and Milton goes down. Tavion Robinson back deep, and he will get it in the fourth quarter. Kentucky's defense has come to life out of halftime. They trail by 2 on Tennessee to the fourth after this. On the last Saturday of October, we start the fourth with Jackson Ross going lefty this time. Tavion Robinson, a fair catch at the 20, and we check in with Matt Berry in the studio.
Yeah, McCord having some problems in that game. He's thrown a couple of early interceptions after the big win against Penn State, now struggling with Camp Randall.
Quarterbacks here have been very good, and Ray Davis has been quiet. Top running back in the SEC by the numbers.
So it's going to have to be Devin Leary here in the fourth quarter, continuing to deliver. And again, we said this time and time over and over. Hasn't put 4 quarters together, but you need him now, right? This defense is hell-bent on stopping Ray Davis. But with the way Devin Leary's been playing up to this point in the game, I think if you're Liam Cohen, the offensive coordinator, you should feel confident no matter what you're dialing up. 13 can come through for you.
You wrote it down on your notepad after 3 quarters against Missouri. The best he had played.
Yep. Can
he finish here tonight now in the fourth? Second down off a play fake. And Leary checks it down to Ray Davis. And Davis reaches out for a first down. Play action again, and Leary takes a shot, and a great catch by Dane Key reaching out. From midfield, they are letting Leary cook, and he throws into double coverage for Brown. It's had a big day for Kentucky in tandem with Devin Leary. 4-man rush. Leary across the middle in rhythm again, and a first down, and it's Demi Sumo Kangbe. And that takes the direct snap and keeps it, and that's not going to get him going.
I mean, we see pro style, right? You see Devin Leary under center, and you see I formation and fullbacks and tight ends. Then they go empty, and they've got RPO plays, and now they've got Wildcat. It's just so much volume to prepare for if you're Tennessee's defense coming into this game. And there have been a few new wrinkles that Liam Cohen's been sprinkling their way, too.
A guy with the experience of running Sean McVay's system. Now here in college, again, back in Lexington. "12 personnel, a tight end on each side for Devin Leary. Play action again. Against the pressure, and it's batted down by Pierce.
Man, and it looked like they may have had something on that. They were trying to sneak Josh Caddis in on a tight end screen. He would have had to make one guy miss, and if he did, that was going to be a house call. You always want to run screens against the blitz. That's exactly what they had, but a great job up front by Tennessee, knocking that one down. Great athleticism there by Pierce, now setting up third. Can Kentucky keep Devin Leary upright the way they've been doing for most of this football game? They've had a plan for Pierce all game long. We've got a tight end lined up over here, try to help out potentially.
They're right at the edge, by the way, of Alex Rayner's range. On 3rd and 11, Leary to the sideline for Brown, and incomplete. 4th down with Judy Lally in coverage.
Nice job on the perimeter, one-on-one. We've seen Brown make a couple plays downfield in the vertical passing game for Kentucky. Kentucky going to line up for a very long field goal here to try to take the lead.
The long this year for Alex Rayner is 50. Said earlier this year he feels comfortable from 55 and in. This from 53. For Alex Rayner, and for the lead, and he pulled it. Comes up empty. Now there is a flag down back at the 31.
I wonder if they're going to get leaping.
The result of the play is a field goal that is no good. After the play, personal foul, defense number 6. 15-yard penalty will be assessed from the 56 signal spot. It'll be first down Tennessee.
Wow, so that changes the field position. The miss stays in effect, and Aaron Beasley whistled for it for the Vols. 2-point game, First few minutes of the fourth, and Tennessee is in front in Lexington.
Aaron Beasley here and Dylan Ray exchanging pleasantries after that missed field goal. They're locked up. You got something on your cheek. I got it for you. Don't worry. Problem is you did it right in front of the referee.
So it backs up Tennessee to the 20, and Beasley sulks. Falls by 2, 21st ranked team in the country after a third quarter offensively where Kentucky really stepped things up defensively. And Dylan Sampson on the ground for just a yard. This is the worst starting field position for Tennessee tonight.
Yeah, David Rayner, nice job coming in now. Backup linebacker on the field, making a huge play.
On second down, here is Milton against pressure. Firing to the sideline. He's got Dante Thornton for a first down past the 30.
I tell you, Dante Thornton's done a pretty good job in this game. We've seen him more on the outside than we have previously in the season, but he's been winning some one-on-one matchups.
Former top 100 recruit, transferred in from Oregon, hadn't had a catch in more than a month. And on first down, De'Aaron Jackson blows up Dylan Sampson. Super solid linebacker for the Cats. On second down, they shovel it, and Sampson bounces away. Sampson spinning to the edge, and it looked like it was going to be nothing for the Vols.
And he broke a tackle from Walker. We've been seeing Walker just terrorizing this offense. Walker didn't wrap up. Somehow Sampson was able to stay on his feet.
Bounce away from 350 pounds. And now Milton gears up toward the sideline, and Squirrel White makes a fine catch past the 50.
This offense rolling right now in a nice rhythm. Joe Milton showing off the arm talent. One-on-ones outside. Squirrel White has an option on that route. It's going to be a wheel route, but if the DB stays high, he's turning it into a curl.
9 yards, second down and 1, and Sampson probes, and he's got a first down. I mean, the tempo when they get humming is incredible. This Tennessee offense, second in the country in time per play, and you can see it from
Kentucky. I was just going to say, you wonder how that's affecting Kentucky right now. A lot of guys with hands on hips here in the fourth quarter.
There's Milton with time to throw. Loads it up, now climbs in the pocket, and Milton takes off. And he slides down right at the edge of field goal range for Joe Milton on the ground for 7.
Yeah, they were thinking about a post throw down the middle of the field. It was double covered, so good decision by Milton there to tuck it and run.
And now Josiah Hayes is seated. And then Josiah Hayes, by the way, right before we went to break, he went down.
And the academy goes to Josiah Hayes, Kentucky.
Now they are supposed to send plays like that to the conference for further action as Hayes went down against this up-tempo attack of Tennessee. Second down and 3 midway through the fourth, and here is Sampson again finding more yards, and he's inside the 30.
He's a beast, man. He just earns all these carries he's getting as the season has gone on. Tough running in between the tackles, finding little creases, getting everything he can.
6.1 a pop for the season for Sampson, who gets enveloped this time on first down.
Yeah, Kentucky's had enough, too. They're starting to drop safeties very close to the line of scrimmage. If you're Joe Milton, this might be an opportunity in a one-on-one, take a shot in the end zone.
On the 10th play of this drive, Milton thinking the same way. Going for the end zone for White, and it's broken up by Phillips.
Well, they moved Andrew Phillips into the slot specifically to cover Squirrel White in this game. Normally, it's Alex Safari, a much bigger body who's good against the run, but that was a good move personnel-wise for Brad White. You see the speed out there, little handsy. He's able to knock it away, and it might have been out of bounds anyway had he even caught it.
That's the most natural position, Brad White told us, for Drew Phillips. He was up to the task, and now it's third down for the Vols here in Lexington. Milton checks it down for Sampson, and again he's got a first down.
He's so dynamic. There's so many different things they can do, and Kentucky completely forgot and lost him out of the backfield. De'Aaron Jackson decided to try to rush the passer. Sampson ran right by him.
17 yards. Sampson from the 12. Up the middle. Touchdown! He was a beast on that drive.
Big John Campbell's back at left tackle for Tennessee, and that's good news. They're pulling two guys. You've got Castles, the tight end, and there's Campbell coming around. Two bigger bodies at the point of attack. Pin inside, kick outside. There's that tough running again by Sampson. He can go between the tackles, outside, catch the ball. He's earned a role in this offense.
12 plays, 80 yards in not even 3.5 minutes for Tennessee. Charles Campbell is good, and now it's a 2-score lead for the Volunteers exactly midway through this fourth. Kentucky's defense stepped up in the third. Tennessee didn't convert on any of its third downs, but this time in the fourth, Dylan. Welcome back to ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by IHG Hotels and Resorts. Hey, next Saturday, College Football Primetime, presented by Capital One.
Wow.
And talk about USC.
Survived
today.
Listen, it was almost 3 losses in a row had it not been for some late game heroics.
Touchback. And let's take a look at our college football rankings brought to you by Verbo.
Well, we saw Oklahoma struggle last week against UCF after the win against Texas, and they go down. And Penn State, they struggled a little bit with Indiana late. Ohio State got their hands full right now with a 7-point lead, but any given weekend, man, you know, it was crazy coming into this week. Outside of Michigan, all the other top 6 teams were playing on the road. You just kind of had the feeling something weird might happen. Everybody's got to bring their A game week in, week out, especially at this juncture of the season.
Kentucky's got it with 7:30 to go in the fourth, trailing by 9, and Leary sets up a screen for Tavion Robinson, fights forward for 8 yards.
Like that idea, and again, just trying to take advantage of having healthy receivers again. Just put the football in their hands quickly in space, get some linemen out in front, let them go to work.
Wesley Walker, safety, 5th-year senior, slow to get up for Tennessee.
You know, Tennessee now thinking to themselves, okay, we got to defend the pass. Kamal Haddon, our best DB, done for the season. So they're going to have to be really good on the back end here, anticipating Kentucky and Devin Leary throwing it vertically. They've already thrown for over 300 yards in this game.
Leary's looked as good as he has all season. Finally in his 8th game at Kentucky after transferring here to Lexington after 5 years at NC State. On second down, Leary staring down pressure, trying to find Robinson again, but it's incomplete. And now it's 3rd down.
Well, they brought pressure, like you said, it's staring it down. I mean, he knew that he was going to get absolutely rocked after throwing this football, but he never flinched. Pressure's coming from outside here. That's McDonald. Ooh. You say you want to play quarterback. Man.
Leary, a guy who's had a couple devastating injuries in his career. The fibula a few years back, and then the pec last year. He's got 3rd down and 2.
Another blitz look from Tennessee.
They bring 4, and Leary to the sideline, and he's got Dingle for a 1st down. Kentucky's got it from the 41, and Leary checks it down. He's got Ray Davis. And Ray Davis swings forward with a 1st down into plus territory. Clock ticks towards 6 to go in a 2-score game, and Leary rolls out. Searching and directing, and Leary will just get rid of it as a flag comes in. 2 of them in the secondary.
Defense number 12. It's a 10-yard penalty. Automatic 1st down.
Saw those 70 penalty yards, meanwhile, on 9 penalties for Tennessee. Showing some pressure again. Instead, it's 4. Leary standing in this time and firing across the middle to one of his tight ends, Josh Caddis, who breaks a tackle and tumbles out of bounds into the red zone. Thrown for 358 back to the air, and Leary incomplete in the direction of Dingle again.
A little more sense of urgency, too, right now from Kentucky's offense. We saw early in the game huddling, trying to go slow, trying to bleed the clock. All of a sudden, though, Devin Leary seems to be in a nice rhythm and a nice tempo, and because of that, they're going faster.
Tense moments in Lexington. 5:42 to go. All 3 timeouts for Kentucky, trailing by 9. Joe Milton has been excellent on the other side for the Volunteers. Second down, they fake it to Robinson. Set up a screen, and Davis takes it inside the 15. Forward progress there.
Yeah, you know, we saw him score on a jet sweep earlier in the game, and there's a fake reverse screen pass to the SEC's leading rusher. Is there another way here Liam Cohen can find a way to get number one involved at a critical juncture?
You said it earlier this half. Keep it in Devin Leary's hands. Liam Cohen went Wildcat on the last possession for the Wildcats, but we'll see what he does here on third down at 5. And a flag before the snap. That is costly for Kentucky.
False start, offense, number 77. 5-yard penalty, still third down.
It was just a little flinch by Jeremy Flax, and again, he's been going up against James Pierce all game long, and you know, part of me doesn't blame him. You're just worried about that speed rushing upfield, but in a moment like that, with the game on the line, great position to score a touchdown. Got to hold your water, and that's the third false start. This offensive line.
I mean, you've talked about it, feeling that pressure that you know is coming from Tennessee. So now it's third down and 10 for Kentucky. Pressure comes. Leary gets rid of it to the sideline for Brown at the 10. 2 yards shy, and it's fourth down.
And that is such a small window to fit that football in. Warren Burrell is closing in on it as you see Marcus Cox, the best offensive line at Kentucky, goes down.
Alex Rayner tried from 53 and missed last time we saw him. This is from 28. And Rayner's good to make it a 6-point game with 4:24 to go. Kind of knew when these two got together we'd have something like this tonight. At Kroger Field in Lexington, Tennessee gets the football up by 6 after Dylan Sampson was outstanding on the last possession.
You know, technically, Dylan Sampson is third on the depth chart. He would start for a lot of really good programs, though. He's come in, shovel passes, he's bounced off tackles, he's been great in the open field. He's getting a lot of the hard runs. He's finding hard-earned yardage and breaking tackles. You saw him on that last drive, up and down the field, make plays time and time again, and it's crazy. You consider that Jalen Wright, their starting running back, he's got 120 yards rushing. Yet Dylan Sampson, he's the one in the game.
He's had 14 touches in this game. He had just 6 last week against Alabama in a loss. Sampson on the ground straight ahead, and in that game against Alabama.
And if you're Tennessee, yeah, you think you slow down the tempo a little bit here, and if you're Kentucky, you've got to stop the run here and get it back, but Tennessee's still going fast.
Screen right side, and Sampson slips away. Dylan Sampson does it again.
Part of the reason you're going fast is because that throw right there is basically like a sweep. It's high percentage, but that's a tackle Kentucky had to make behind the line of scrimmage. And again, Sampson somehow able to make the miss. You see Kentucky's all looking to the sideline, trying to get the call. They're not ready. You spit it out with a couple of blockers out in front. Squirrel Wright even missed his guy, but he was not able to make a tackle. There was Andrew Phillips that missed. Sampson's running possessed here late in the game.
No kidding.
This is crazy.
Hey, let's check in with Matt Berry in the studio. All right, Matt, yeah, just absolutely possessed play from Dylan Sampson.
It's incredible. It's just almost an embarrassment of riches. How fortunate are you when you've got Jalen Wright, Jabari Small, Dylan Sampson, guys that could be RB1 for a lot of programs in this country, and you just keep fresh legs in. But the tempo they go at, it makes it so hard on defenses.
I mean, you talk about 3 guys. Joey Halsley, the offensive coordinator, said to us, I think the reason why, he said, we've had so much success overall with our rushing attack is because we distribute it like this evenly.
Yeah, and these guys all benefit from competing in practice throughout the week. They push each other, and they all show up, and they understand that their touches are going to get limited because they're going to have to share it. But they support each other. They've got each other's backs. And I got to say, they all do a lot of things really, really well. It's not like any of them are just one-dimensional backs. You're lucky as an offense to have one guy.
Yeah.
I mean, Kentucky's got Ray Davis, and he's special, but Tennessee's got 3 dudes in the backfield.
Jalen Wright has called it the best running back room in the entire country. Hard to argue with that with what we've seen in 8 games for Tennessee. Now the question for the Vols, can they finish? Something they didn't do against Alabama.
Something you don't see much. That's kind of a huddle for Tennessee right there. They're just letting the play clock and the game clock bleed down. Anticipating run, they're going to rush to the line of scrimmage, get lined up quickly, and snap it.
Soaking precious seconds off the clock.
Kentucky trying to hold on to their 3 timeouts in case they get the ball back.
Sampson, left side, finds a seam. Dylan Sampson is cooking in the second half.
Well, Kentucky brought pressure from the slot. It was Andrew Phillips. Unfortunately, a 187-pound DB found Gerald Mincy, who weighs 340, pulling around. This way, this is going to be the collision. The guy coming from this side didn't really have a chance. That's the bread and butter run for Josh Heupel in this offense. Pulling a tackle. Mincy's their best puller. You heard the contact. It's physical downhill runs. This is not a finesse offense. They go fast, they go spread true, but they run the ball and they run it downhill.
That was 24 yards from Sampson. It gets stacked up. They got to grab onto every single limb now of Dylan Sampson.
They do, and they also have to start thinking about when to start using these timeouts. Being judicious about that as well.
Mark Stoops has all 3 of them, as you said. Clock ticks inside of 2:20 in the 4th.
They're going to run the ball here. If you get a tackle, you got to burn one right away and then come up with a big play on 3rd down.
Where does Tennessee turn? Dylan Sampson has been the guy. They run option. Milton on a pitch. Sampson to the edge and out of bounds right at 2 minutes to go here in the 4th. So now you need that stop here on 3rd down. Well, clock rolling. Mark Stoops wants an explanation here. And the officials come together. So up to and including 2 minutes to go in the half, it runs when you go out of bounds. And that's exactly when Sampson went out of bounds. So Mark Stoops is granted the timeout after all.
Right. So they stop the clock at this point. And this is kind of a big moment for Tennessee, too, because as of right now, you got a 6-point game. Kentucky gets a touchdown, and all of a sudden they're up. So you kick a field goal here, make it a 2-possession game, and you're feeling like you're walking out of Lexington with a win. 2 things you got to be happy about, I think, if you're Josh Heupel and this coaching staff. 1, the way they're finishing this game, and 2, how they just handled the environment. We keep talking about how much this team has struggled playing on the road. And they came out here right from the get-go, scoring on their opening drive, taking a lead early. They've been able to keep the pedal to the metal.
Two minutes to go in this border battle. 3rd down and 7 for the Vols from the 37. Keep it on the ground with Milton. To the sideline and a 1st down, Joe Milton.
Well, we talked about how Joe Milton had to run it a little bit more. Here's a great example of evening out the numbers. This time up front, you've got 6 blockers and you've got 7, including the running back. So 7 against 7. Getting involved at the point of attack. And for Joe Milton, there's the speed and the athleticism, able to get the edge and then try to slide in bounds. Keep the clock moving.
Kentucky takes a timeout after Joe Milton with his legs. And Josh Heupel had said to us in the early part of the season he was banged up. We couldn't do as much design run with Joe Milton. Well, the last 3 games now, they've been able to, and he's got the 1st down for the Vols. Hey, Tuesday, it's the exclusive reveal of the first college football playoff top 25 rankings. Reese Davis and the crew will break them down. They'll have coaches' reactions plus a live interview with Boo Corrigan, the committee chairman. 7 o'clock Eastern, right here on ESPN. I mean, how about the quarterback play, Jesse Palmer, in this? We've talked about Devin Leary, and then Joe Milton has stepped up, and he does it with his legs, trying to secure this for Tennessee.
Who had that on your bingo card, by the way, coming into this one? It was going to be a QB duel between Tennessee and Kentucky, two really good running offenses. But both Joe Milton and Devin Leary really have delivered in big moments with a lot of pressure. They've stepped up, and they've been able to get it done in a lot of different ways, fitting really because of how they've both played that it's coming down to the wire here.
1:49 to go. Kentucky's got just one timeout, and they swing down to Sampson with De'Eric Jackson. So Mark Stoops takes that final timeout with 1:38 remaining. So, I mean, these two quarterbacks in this game, they've had up and down moments. They're both transfers in this age of college football where so much is expected right away. And Joe Milton in year 3 in Knoxville, Devin Leary in his first year in Lexington.
But they continue to work, and they go back to the practice field, and they get into the film room, and they try to apply that here on game day, and they've both been able to do that. I've been impressed with Joe Milton and the accuracy throwing it down the field, which we knew had been a problem really throughout his career. And then for Devin Leary, we hadn't seen this version of him all season long. This looks like the guy in 2021 back at NC State. The reason why a lot of people thought maybe that was the best portal addition from the QB spot that any team got this year. This has been a lot of fun to watch these guys go back and forth. It's come down to which guy has it last.
It's been the second most passing yards for Devin Leary in his entire career. But right now, it's all about Tennessee. They've got the lead by 6, 1:43 to go, and they're trying to grab a road win in the SEC, and that's been elusive recently.
It really has, and so you got to love the energy they came in here with, bouncing back. They were excited to get back on the field after blowing that halftime lead against Alabama.
Second down, they hand it off to Sampson for 2 yards.
This was a big win for them to get to, because even after that loss against Alabama, obviously it's not looking great to go to Atlanta for Tennessee, but still an opportunity to do some really special things this year. Double-digit wins, a New Year's Six bowl game. They've got some big games coming up on the road at Missouri. Georgia obviously on the docket as well, but you had to get past this test. And because the fact that it was played on the road, that was a big question mark. You like the way Tennessee's responded.
And still trying to get to the finish line here. 1:10 to go on a turning fourth quarter clock. And 3rd down and 9 coming up. And Charles Campbell waiting in the wings, the kicker for Tennessee. Josh Heupel takes his first timeout with 58 seconds to go, and this is the schedule you mentioned.
Yeah, coming up, obviously. And UConn, you expect to be a W, but then this little stretch right here, if you've watched Missouri play, you've seen the weapons they have on offense, you've seen how physical they are on the defensive line. That is going to be a dogfight, and the key there, on the road. That's a big question, obviously, for Tennessee. And then, of course, Georgia, which, after watching what they did to the Gators today without Brock Bowers, there's a lot of different ways those guys can win games.
What have you made of Carson Beck?
I think he's been outstanding. Statistically, actually, better than Stetson Bennett this time last year. From a tool standpoint, he's got size and arm talent, but they've got so many receivers and tight ends and running backs. They're deep. He seems to get more and more comfortable week in, week out. Really gives the Georgia Bulldogs an advantage. They can win games because of Carson Beck.
Well, that still looms for Tennessee. And here tonight, right now, they still got 58 seconds left. They've got 3rd down and 9.
I wonder if you're going to see that speed option from Joe Milton. Again, you've seen it a couple times. Got 7 blockers here.
Milton, quarterback power, and he will push a couple of yards forward inside the 25. Ty Bryant, the tackle. Charles Campbell, the kicker, is 4 for 4 in this game.
I think part of why he went QB power there, too, was to keep the ball centered in the middle of the field.
We got a Kentucky player down right near the line of scrimmage. Looks like Keyshawn Silver.
If the injury is the only reason for stopping the clock there, that could be a 10-second runoff for Kentucky, which they could prevent if they had a timeout, but they don't. under a minute to go. If the injury is the reason why the game clock is stopping, and that's going to be a 10-second runoff.
And both teams barking at one another. That is the always vocal Javontes Spraggins, the right guard, in the middle of it for Tennessee, as Silver rises to his feet. So if they run off the 10 seconds, do you even need to run?
You don't have to run another play. No, that would bring it down to 34 seconds. Game clock would go. With the play clock at 40, I think that would be ball game.
We said it earlier, Josiah Hayes went down, and you could sense frustration from the Tennessee fans who were here in Lexington. And now, with another guy going down in Keyshawn Silver this time, do they have the 10-second runoff? You can't avoid that because, like you said, Cats are out of timeouts, and then you're inside of the 40-second play clock.
Yeah, I think that's what they're explaining to Mark Stoops right now. Yep, that's it.
Wow.
The defensive injury carries a 10-second subtraction. Time kicker, please set the game clock to 34 seconds. The play clock will be set at 40 and will start on the referee's whistle.
Wow.
Man.
So a 10-second runoff takes us to 34 seconds left. Kentucky heartbreak on one side and Tennessee to the finish line on the other. Wow.
I think you got to be so happy what you've seen from your team if you're Josh Heupel too, because you did it on the ground like you do mostly every week, and then Joe Milton was really good with accuracy, throwing it through the air. The defense came up and got the stops they needed in key moments. Wins are hard in this conference. This was a big one on the road.
Played this for the 119th time. It ends like this, Katie George.
Coach Heupel, I don't know about you, but that was a really fun game to witness. What did you think of the urgency you saw from your group for all 4 quarters?
I love the effort and energy that we played with. At the end of the day, winning on the road in this league is really tough. It's a good football team that we played tonight. Proud of the effort from our guys. We've got to play smarter as we continue to go. Got to be better in the red zone offensively, but we'll take it. It's a good win in the league.
Jalen Wright rushes for more than 100. Dylan Sampson completely dominated his scoring drive. What kind of luxury is it to have such a deep running back room?
Yeah, deep room. We got some young guys in there too. They're really good. They're smart. They're competitive. They run hard. Do a great job of reading what's going on up front. The 5 bigs were great tonight. Tight ends were awesome, and pass game was good enough. It was a good win.
Congratulations. Enjoy.
Thank you.
We said it at the start. Forks in the road for both these teams.
No doubt.
Tennessee bounces back with a win.
Yeah, up. They've won 36 of their last 39 meetings. This is a big win for them. We talked about some special stuff on the docket for Tennessee if they can keep it going. Kentucky now 3 straight losses. They've got to find a way to rebound. You look at the rest of their schedule, not a lot of gimme wins.
Coming up next, college football continues with Oregon State and Arizona. For Katie George, Jesse Palmer, and our entire excellent crew behind the scenes, I'm Mike Monaco saying thanks for joining us. Let's get you back to the studio after a wild one in Lexington. What a finish. Here's Matt Berry.